Thanks for taking some time. I was just wondering, as you're coming back here and thinking about last year and the run the Chiefs went on, what was that like, and how eager are you for this opportunity to feel healthy and go what is part of the second leg of this thing?
Well, I mean, it was incredible. It was an incredible experience just watching our team fully develop and become what we all knew that we could become, especially defensively. I know we started off a little rough at the beginning, but I think everybody knew that we'd come along and fully develop, and we did that at the right time last year. So, I'm excited to join that unit and keep it going.
Let's go to Seren Petra. Go ahead, Seren.
Alex, a couple things here. Number one, I'm curious for a veteran, what do you think you miss, if anything, right, by not having preseason games, or is it really a bunch of smiles amongst you veterans that you don't have to go out there? And then number two, and I asked this of Andrew Wiley, on the line, you guys have got to go nose to nose, helmet to helmet, face to face. I know everyone's got kind of their own opinion of what risks are out there for the COVID. What your thoughts are about that, and your confidence in how things are going to be done, that you're going to be okay.
Okay, referring to the first question, for vets like me, we're loving it, man. Less miles on the body, less days in pads, shorter days. So, I mean, this is excellent for me. I will say vice versa for younger guys, rookies, undrafted guys. With no preseason games, you don't really have games to show what you can do. I know some guys are guys that show up on game day and you don't have that opportunity to do that. You have to make all your noise here at practice, and still that might not even be enough. So that's an unfortunate situation for them. But a guy like me, I'm loving it. In terms of the risk being on the line of scrimmage with COVID, I think we all know what we're signing up for with this thing. All we can do is trust in the testing process and trust that, everybody's being honest, everybody's being transparent, and that everybody is getting tested and doing what they need to do once they go home and staying away from everybody. As long as everybody's on the same page and is just honest about where they're at, what they're doing, the testing process, all that, we can kind of limit and contain the exposure we have. But there's no denying that us being on that line of scrimmage, we're the most susceptible to everything.
Let's go to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Hey, Alex, hope you're doing well, man.
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Hey, obviously with this restructured contract you had going in, a few other people have done that. Just it kind of speaks to the overall excitement of you guys just being together on the same unit. And then speaking of your unit with the defensive line, of course, Chris Jones back, Frank Clark already back. How excited you guys are, and Chris Jones talks about Sack Nation, how excited are you guys to just kind of gobble up a lot more sacks this year, that you guys got a pretty formidable group going? It's got to be more exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys, I mean, they were incredible last year. Between Chris, Frank, even guys like Damone, TK, all those guys that came in, Colin, Big Mike, we have an exceptional room. And I think everybody just loves playing for one another. That's one of our biggest strengths. As far as I'm concerned, I missed the last couple games plus the playoff run. I got a lot of room to make up. I got to join these guys, and I got to be effective once I get out there, and I'm looking forward to that. They've already paved the way, and I'm just trying to add my little flair, my little flavor to it. So
let's go to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hello, Alex. I have two questions here for you from the parking lot here. Mm-hmm. I know that you were starting to play your best football right before your injury. You had a sack against the Patriots, and obviously you had a sack in the game against the Broncos. Because you have the unique perspective of sort of being a part of the statistical improvement and then seeing it from being injured, why do you feel like you guys made such a leap in the second half of the season from your perspective? And what gives you confidence that if guys stay healthy like yourself, why you guys may either sustain that to open this unique season or even, in fact, improve on it because you're going into year two with the same coaching staff?
Right. I think a lot of that has to do with just learning and developing in the scheme. Whenever you teach a scheme, whenever you install a scheme, there's a bunch of X's and O's, and there's a blackboard way of doing it. And everybody just memorizes that blackboard way of doing it. But whenever you take that next step as a defense, you learn the caveats of the defense. So you learn what this defense is susceptible to. You learn the proper technique within this scheme. And I think that's what we started to do further down the line. It wasn't just about X's and O's. It was about X's and O's at the beginning. As we kept going down the line, I think we all learned how to really work within the scheme, and that's how we took the next step.
We've got time for Oh,
And then secondly, Alex, just why do you feel like you guys may sustain it or just improve on that defense just because of what you guys have done?
We haven't lost any guys. I know we lost Kendall, and I'm happy for him. But other than that, man, we haven't lost anybody. So there's no reason for us not to take that next step. And I think we're all on the same page in thinking that.
we got time for a couple more guys. We're going to go Herbie and then Seren. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Alex, good to see you, man.
Herb, what's up, baby?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, two questions here for you. On the subject of sacks, a couple years ago, you worked with a good one in Cam Jordan. This year, you've got, or the last 2 seasons, Chris Jones and Frank Clark. And I'm curious, what do they do off the field that makes them, that sets them apart for what they're able to do on the field? And Brad, I want to follow up with that.
Yeah. Just some things that I see within those guys. They're always looking to take their game to the next level, whether that's finding something by watching tape, whether that's, finding something off the field to help for them recover quicker or something. But they're always trying to take that next step, and they always want to be greater. Whenever they watch guys on TV and guys have a big game, you can just see them itch a little bit like, okay, I got to step up a little bit more. And that's what you see in the great guys.
And on the subject of sack as well, from the time you break the huddle, because you can get after the quarterback as well, but from the time you break the huddle and you line up, take me through the steps in your mind, the process of getting a sack. What do you look for?
The process of getting a sack?
Yes.
Okay, so when we're breaking the huddle, first thing you do, you got to recognize the formation. For the D-line, it's mostly backfield sets, and if you got a tight end in front of you. Okay, I don't have a tight end. All right, it's a 4 open formation, most likely pass. Let me look at the tackle's foot. If there's something within the tackle's foot that gives away pass, okay, I'm pinning my ears and I'm getting after the quarterback. Next thing, you got to have a move in mind, and you do that from watching film, seeing what type of moves they're susceptible to. All right, I got this move in mind. Then snap. You look at a set. If it's the right set, the move you had in mind, you execute it. If it's a different set, you work your counter move, and that's kind of the thought process, play in, play out.
Let's go to Seren for the last one. Go ahead, Seren.
Alex, going back to what you were talking about with your answer when I asked you about the risks that are there with COVID, you talked about trust in your fellow players and everything. We saw in Seattle, a young player got cut. He was trying to sneak, a young lady in to the facility and everything. We've also heard in the NBA, there's a quote snitch line, right? That you call. I know everybody, there's the code of the road and everybody wants to have everybody's back, but kind of having each other's back is different now, right? It's not maybe about covering a guy's misstep because his misstep could cost people's health. What conversations have you guys had about that and how it is maybe different? Looking out for each other is really different this year.
Yeah, I just think the leaders in the room have to step up. Just with the pandemic going on right now, everybody's getting affected differently by this thing, and that's what makes it so hard to contain. But I just think the leaders in the room have to be cognizant of the mindset of the room. You got to make sure that the younger guys know that they're putting other guys at risk. And that's the biggest thing. It's not just about yourself. Not only can you catch it, but you're putting other guys at risk as well, even if you're not being affected by it. And that's the biggest thing that everybody has to understand.
Alex, we appreciate the time today. Thank you.
No doubt. I appreciate you.